Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Little Apothecary and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to talk about the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and other stories by Robert Louis Stevenson. This is the collection of short stories. Now most people know the short story slash novella of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. If they don't know the story itself, they haven't read that. They know the basic premise of it, or at least the juxtaposition of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is a collection of short stories and novellas, which I didn't even realize it was a collection. I thought it was just a novella on its own, but I really enjoyed this. So this is, as I said, short story collection, classic horror, released in 1886, first released. What I love about it is that every story was its own. Like, you could read just that one story and have the complete picture. They were all very different from each other, but they all had kind of a horror mystery twist to it. I gave the collection as a whole 4 out of 5 stars. Stevenson uses his characters to examine base questions like, what does it mean to be human, and to look at mankind and humankind at its absolute worst. And this is at its worst in 1886, of course. Some of our base humanity, some of our base instincts are probably a little bit worse than this, but this is based in 1886 when it was first released. So I thought using his characters to take these deep dives into humankind and mankind and what it means to be human was a really great use of characters. I thought they were all very detailed and complex, vivid and lifelike characters. They could all be kind of humans in everyday life, essentially. Our atmosphere and our setting, they kind of were characters in their own right. The atmosphere and the setting, it was very vivid. You could see it, you could feel it, you could smell it, you could taste it. Everything was there perfectly for atmosphere and setting. Writing style, for me, it varied between different stories. Some stories I loved, and some stories felt like they kind of meandered a little bit too much for me, and I was ready to just get straight to the point. Plot is very similar. Some stories had a very clean plot. It was easy to see what the plot was, where it was going to go. Not easy in the fact that it was boring, though. Easy but still interesting. While others felt they were more about the characters than the plot itself, which is completely fine, especially in a collection like this. Totally cool to have some stories that are more plot-based, plot-driven, and some that are more character-driven. I love the combination, the variety there. Intrigue for me was always there throughout all of the stories. I was intrigued. Logic and relationships, everything made logical sense for me. And for the most part, I felt like the relationships were true to what was expected in these relationships. Not that to say that everything came out daisies or everything was exactly as you expected it, but for the most sense, in a general sense, it was kind of as expected in a good way. And then enjoyment, I honestly mostly enjoyed these stories, although some felt a little bit long to me, and so that's why I gave the collection as a whole 4 out of 5 stars. Now, if you've read this collection, or if you've read only some of the short stories in this collection, let me know in the comments below. What's your favorite short story in this collection? Have you read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? What did you love about it? I loved the atmosphere of it, and it just felt like such a fantastic atmosphere for the story that Stevenson is telling. As always, keep reading, and I love y'all to the moon and back. Bye.